Weight champion.
Brown and trainer Adrian Davis. Norris, they observed, positioned his hands to the side of his head, leaving his chin and face exposed to jabs and straight shots. Most importantly, when Norris attacked, he swung widely, never pulling back.
Breakdown versus Troy, the only other fighter in 6.
And his record includes 20 grand. This bout is sanctioned by the World Color Trim, fighting out of Mount Airy, Maryland. He weighed in the same weight of one and newly crowned.
Time to pull off the factors we have to look for in that. Troy suffers an under a left look at what.
A lot of punishment shortens fight or good means you can do.
Thought otherwise. Doctor said if he had
in the way of a threat. He's sneaky, he's cagey. Norris is an all-out offensive attack right from the bell and demolishes
shots while he's waiting. You know, he took some bang with that kind of authority that he. Simon Brown. Norris was having, which affected.
I've known many times when I've been sparring, even on the top of it in the soft spot.
6 days after the Norris fight, he was back in the gym. Waters has moved his training facilities to the United States, moving from Australia to Redondo Beach, California, looking to get better fights in the States.
Well, I'll tell you, the past two beauties for better fights.
Simon Brown, as his first round wiles away, Simon certainly building up a lead here, doing his body work and out-jabbing Troy Waters.
Well, it's certainly against Simon Brown.
And of course, got in that much trouble, and the corner couldn't help.
Waters has seemed to change between his gloves, and the last busted his face up quite a bit.
Bobby, the question I have, what happens then? Do the gloves get forced back into your face?
Certainly the gloves get forced back into your face, diminish nearly as much as you might think. However, you know, you do get some of the force in your eye, your laces. Best way to do it, you might want to deflect them a little more, push them to and diminish their effects. That flush stuff is going to hurt.
Brown and Norris attacked with such force and feeling. And look at Brown. He's like a doctor. He's like a guy just preparing to go into surgery. He sets you up, he cleans you up, and then finishes.
Many feel Brown is underrated, looking to shed that underrated tag. People forget he made before 6 days with dehydration, trying to get down to weight.
I'm not getting away from Buddy McGirt, but
that is for sure.
I think that fight with Buddy McGirt, the public to believe, you know, he's just for more paydays retired, but that wasn't the case.
Meanwhile, Troy Waters claims he was responsible for weakening Terry Norris. There may be a lot to that, and setting things up for Simon Brown.
Troy is getting out punched 3 or 4 to 1, if not 5 to 1. Everyone does not seem to move Simon Brown.
You know, he has to be a little more off getting hit so flush, so hard, but the points are piling up, and the rounds will slip by.
Brown has turned it up a notch. Round 3, BC Super Welterweight Championship.
Troy Waters, he can't get any good. He's already turned forward. Half of his weight's already forward, and he makes a big target.
We saw Simon Brown, Maurice Bluff fight with Buddy McGirt, and more recently Terry Norris, and now he's trying to dispose of Troy.
Shoulder Waters put the best punches that he's had so far.
Simon Brown pushed him off as with it. He just kind of shoved him off.
Brown beginning to take its effect. They're going to leave the 4 very red.
Troy's trying to do it when they get close, but
timing, Bob. He can't throw the right hand. He gets his right hand off because
before he keeps his right shoulder so far.
There's a good left hand by Waters.
And to answer that.
Right with the jab.
Waters constantly coming forward too, trying to minimize course, going back.
Sending Brown back and getting the crowd alive. Right hand by Waters. Short.
And a low blow by Waters. Really wasn't a big low blow. That's like to the...
Waters a little incentive because here he throws a nice combination. He finally gets the right hand off, lands one on the button, and then he pushes Simon back to the ropes and comes back with a few more. A little bobbing and weaving inside, gaining a little bit of confidence.
He left off.
You don't want to give away, Rob.
Heavy body shots by Simon Brown. Back comes Waters to the body. And an overhand right by Brown that connects.
Waters is responding now. Maybe he wanted to just take the first few rounds later. We're going to find out. Shaping up to be a really...
They're starting to get meaningful. Oh, now that was...
They're certainly getting more bountiful.
Zuma Nelson. Zuma wasn't here.
That's something I never really took too much of the showboating. I was always afraid I might get caught and really look foolish.
Adrian Davis, Brown bench is a good defense. Every punch has to leave you protected.
Another low blow.
I'll tell you what, Ferdy, I think that was borderline. I think it was on the belt. They're going to start...
And hard.
A foul-playing fight here. Near low blow by Brown. Brown with a crunching left. Left-hand football tactic getting warned by the referee Halpern.
Mitch Halpern too much into this fight. You got to step back and let these guys go. He can't keep talking to them.
It's the punches and bunches that's really hurting Waters here. Brown is landing a lot in the later round.
My God, the more he gets hit, the harder he comes on.
We said earlier that Adrian Davis was worried, cautious going into this fight.
Well, I'll tell you, I can tell that this Simon Brown, but I'll tell you, his defense is better for Waters.
A heavy right hand by Waters.
And once they're just not getting accidental right now. Now you see the referee, Mitch Halpern's getting in too much. Now that was a low blow, not real bad, but look what
the combination together again. Underneath there, you're seeing it over the top. Troy trying to block the punches.
It was here round.
Well, what he's doing is waiting too much of the first 3/4 of the round and trying to come back to it. That's not going to win him the fight.
It's like throwing money away. You yell rings and you don't have a chance to follow it up. What's the point? You lost the round anyway.
All right, let's see if Waters gets the message and starts. Simon Brown flush on the face. Combination.
And wait until Simon's done with it. He's got to maybe block one, then slip one if he's going to stop. End of story.
Brown has his way through the very beginning of both rounds. The first minute is all Brown. But end of the round, he can't win the fight that way. It needs more than one punch. If he had a good 30 seconds, a good 45 seconds at the end, maybe.
Steal around with the last 20 seconds. He has to keep the first hand. But once again, he's worried about all those punches he keeps getting hit with.
That was blocked by Brown.
Get up, get up.
Low blow by Simon. Oh, good right by Waters. But back comes Simon Brown.
I'll tell you what, I'd be real. When they're on the inside like this and they're covering up and they're ducking, either of the two that hits the other one on top of the head, what happens to the legs of the man that gets hit?
That many cuts. So far, nothing from the cuts.
Over by Brown to avoid those. Brown with a left hand continues to apply the pressure. Oh, what a count! That landed repeatedly. Remember, in Mexico, this is what makes this guy a great champion. Right, left, watch. Eyes on the glove. Bobby takes his next look.
Once again, Simon Brown has the speed, the accuracy is there.
Sometimes you look down at your card, you can't believe, but building his castle.
See what happened here? Troy Waters, if he's trying to get Simon Brown tired, he's not forcing the pace after the punch. He's got to put a little more body pressure on Simon Brown to get him to, if he's looking, just trying to survive.
Simon Brown, 40-2 with 30 knockouts. His first title defense, the former IBF welterweight champ. There's a good right hand.
Chins in boxing, all he had, and if he hadn't had that great a chin, it's terrible.
Again, Brown unloaded.
Waters is slow, out of the way.
He's just not fast enough for Simon Brown, although he landed there.
Well, I believe there's zero quit in the Australian. I think he's here for the duration as long as his body and his handlers will let him decision fight. His defense has got...
Norris knocked Troy Waters down. He's already doubled that margin here against Simon Brown, the new champ. And Brown doubling up on the left. Back comes Waters again. And back comes Brown. What an exchange. And Waters retaliates. And now Brown. Toe-to-toe, Ferdy.
And that's what he needs. That's what Troy Waters needs. Go, throw it all out, toe-to-toe, and see who comes out of it.
The fireworks have started.
A slugfest in round 6. Expected when they started that it would come to this around the 4th or 5th. Troy Waters letting it hang out and going toe-to-toe with Simon. The only chance he's got. He's being outboxed. He's being outpunched. He's got to go toe for 4 or 5 rounds, and then him on the attack with all he had by Troy Waters. Simon Brown. Simon Brown ahead. Troy, but it's not how you look at it. But that last round was a war. And that's what Troy knows. Boxer Simon Brown. You can forget that. See what happens past the midway mark of the 7th round.
Fellas, I'm back. I had a little
It's more of the same, Bobby. It's Troy Waters trying to get him in the shootout. At the end of that last fighter, he's there by Waters. That got the attention of Brown. That right just missed. It grazed. The left got in, though, by Waters. To wear Brown down. Yes, beginning.
Well, right now he can afford to take off that type of fighter. He may take off parts of a round. And again, to the fact that this fight is 12 rounds.
That's in action. Brown is, I noticed, is this Australian begins to look like, but Simon is too good a fighter to give him as big a walk away as it was closing the gap.
You know, I don't know, again, if Troy Waters ever gets to show the way he's very difficult to get someone the caliber of Simon Brown. It's just got too much, I think.
Well, that's what he's good for. I mean, Brown's on that extra gas tank, and that's what finishes off big.
Waters, 21-3, 15 knockouts.
Waters is backing up.
Very good. It's on Waters.
If he does that, we're all in. Brown, a lessening of the speed of Brown's punches.
We're 8 rounds into a 12-round fight. A lot of action, a lot of pulling the punches and starting to let him fly.
Oh, a big left hand, though, by Brown that snapped Waters' head back.
That's what Brown does good. Pity pats, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you got a cannon shell coming out.
Seems to go.
I'll tell you what I think, okay? Yes, big uppercut.
Left uppercut followed by chin.
You have to take your...
And a flicking left jab.
Face as if to say what's going to hit in the second and third. Here he makes a nice move. Slips, left hand.
You know, if that right hand had hit flush.
Champ Simon
Showing a national
fortitude and courage of fight. He didn't want to quit. And now
those cuts hadn't been there. And if I have, I mean, 68 to 65. And,
you forgot the last one. That pretty could have been even from the punches. I have this fight pretty much one-sided runner.
Waters' face, which was very reddened earlier. So right now, he's got to be frustrated. He's saying, how?
Well, Simon's a veteran of long wars, because he's going to be here for
Troy Waters certainly said he's ready to...
The type of lead that Simon Brown has now, he can just throw out his light punch side. Waters needs to do that. Press the issue. Fire inside and follow him back and fire again.
But back comes Simon Brown, right to the head of Troy Waters. Waters' head taking a battering. And now Waters able to cover up and comes back with a right hand.
Where it lands.
Totally poker face. Expressionless.
which caught Simon Brown's attention. Nice uppercut.
Brown will set on him.
The lessons you teach boxing kids, you say, oh, I beat him. This is the court. It doesn't.
This is extending first title defense. And I'll tell you what.
I would with Terry Norris.
That's the kind of attitude.
He didn't get knocked. Great. Simon Brown. I love the way he looks all the time. They always have to be giving you great fight. That's what he looks like.
We're back to the Friday night fights, cavalcade of sport. The pleasure of having his son Bob as our director.
We try to tell him, don't talk anymore. Do like your father. Just a few words, but perfect words.
Hey, around on the inside. Really need something big here for the last few rounds if he's going to close the gap, because right now Simon Brown's being allowed to...
Fortunately for Brown, it's his right eye. And it is closing.
Waters, he followed it up with a few jabs, trying to get away. He's got to force it. He's got to push the action.
Let's see if Waters finishes strong. Away from Waters. Waters stalking.
Saying this is a football game, that's a war. This is a boxing match.
and tough. Putting it in perspective, it is round number 11 scheduled for Troy Waters in his corner.
Say, whatever you have to make him work.
Put him back and talk to himself. He didn't need us. Right now, he's got that eye of Troy Waters to take advantage. But back comes Simon Brown. Look at this barrage by Brown. Brown opening up, pouring it on.
Pushing him back, pushing him back. But I'll tell you what, he's not throwing enough.
His head and his waist.
Terrific leverage.
Look at that. When he slips and rolls when he throws one, what he does is just block.
Dundee for making a Hall of Fame. A Philadelphia fan was done made it finally, and I congratulate Chris Dundee, my mentor.
Opening up, and that got the attention once again of Simon Brown, but back comes Brown with machine gun
punches, crisp, sharp, and on the money. Each one of them accurate, whereas Waters is not.
Brown, and Waters just stared at Brown.
It's almost as if in disbelief. It's the 11th round, and this guy's supposed to be an old man.
At the age of 30, looking tremendous wrist fight. Wild miss, but then he comes back, Waters with a right hand. And that only gets Brown going more.
We keep talking about Troy Waters.
Throw 4 punches, Bobby.
Yeah, there's no quitting the kid. He's getting hit in the face with everything, and he just looks at him.
The fans very much appreciative of the effort.
Made himself a great attraction. This kid could fight any player. Tyson.
All he has to do is, all he had to do was move and decided to give the crowd.
Brown, hearing it from the crowd.
Oh, that's what you did not want. You didn't fight, you got in control.
In the last round, and then have a cut open up from the right side.
To question him on that.
12th and final round, Brown's blood. It is a messy sight there.
No question about it. He's flicking it with his gloves, but, you know, he's too far back. He needs to knock out. He's not going to open that cut big enough to stop this fight.
No, they're not going to stop the fight in the last round, especially in the championship bout. It's to his credibility, and he's increasing his popularity. It's that.
To just 4.
Well, that's just what he didn't need in what was apparently an easy victory. Not easy, but a victory, victory. He is now jeopardizing his career. He's got a cut loose for Simon. Too bad.
And Troy Waters just trying to open up here and end with a flurry of barrage. Oh, what a right hand by Troy Waters. Too late for the Australian Troy Waters. Look at some of the action here, and let's see if we can tell where the cut happened. And there it is.
Again, there's no quitting Brown either. He's getting teed off on a little bit.
Still champion Simon Brown.